Hello, thank you for joining me for day number 57 of 365 Days of Public Speaking. My name is Lionel Yamentu. Today I'd like to speak to you about making up your stories or making up stories for your presentation. As a speaker, it is important for you to be in integrity with your message, with the things that you say, to be in alignment, to be honest with the audience in terms of the stories that you tell them and the things that you say and the message that you bring to them. One of the best ways to bring your stories or your presentation to life is by adding stories to make your points, to illustrate your points. One of my coaches and mentors said, never tell a story without a point and never make a point without a story. Every single point in your message or in your outline of your presentation must have a story to be able to support it, because that is what the audience takes home with them. I've been in sessions before, in presentations before, very often, where the speaker tells a lot of different things and makes a lot of different points, but most of the time I always remember the story that the speaker uses to illustrate the points. For example, if a speaker is speaking about faith, it is easier for me to remember, and for most people for that matter, to remember a story that illustrates how faith was used and the points, the specific point that the speaker was making about faith. Should you create your own story? Should you invent stories to be able to support the points that you make during your presentation? I have thought about it many times, and there are situations where I've had to create my own stories to be able to give weight to the points that I was making. When I create a story, I make sure that at the time of delivering the story, I don't tell the story as if it is something that I've lived. For example, we know that there are a lot of tales that are used to be able to make a point, to support a point, or to highlight an aspect of a point that is made. Every time that you tell a story or that you invent a story, always remember not to tell the story as if you've lived the story or if someone else that you know lived the story. The audience must have a sense or an understanding that the story is just a tale, because it is perfectly alright to use a tale, maybe that you've read in a book or that came out of one of your books, to be able to illustrate your point. I believe this has been helpful. Thank you so much for being with me today, and I'll see you again tomorrow.